has been home to many renowned artists in the 20th century, including art from South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. Many Hispanic artists have been living in many other regions of the world, like Europe and the United States. Their art has an extensive tradition, including the colonial era. Throughout the time, Hispanic painters have been recognized for their innovation in incorporating techniques related to their cultures. Some of these artists have used their creativities to depict social and political issues. Now let's see how Fernando Botero became one of these famous artists. First, I will discuss his early life and background information, including education. Then I will discuss his artistic career. Let's begin with his early life. Fernando Botero's early life can be divided into his childhood and his teenage years. Let's begin with his childhood. According to Fernando Botero, 1932 artist, his full name is Fernando Botero Angulo. He was born on April 19, 1932 in Medellín, Colombia. He had two parents named David Botero and Flora Angulo, and two brothers. When he was 4 years old, his father died in 1936. His mom worked as a seamstress to support him and the family, and his uncle primarily became a major role in his life. Now let's look at his teenage years. According to Google Arts and Culture, at the age of 12, his uncle enrolled him in an apprentice meditator school for 2 years. He received his primary education in Antigua, Ateneo, and he eventually pursued an education at a Jesuit-run academy that offered him a scholarship. His boot training years helped him discover his true passion for art. As we can see, Botero's childhood and education were based on his uncle's wishes after his father's death. But now let's see how his artistic career began. Beginning of Fernando Botero's artistic career. During his teenage years, Fernando began painting. His uncle recognized that Fernando was more interested in drawing and painting bulls rather than fighting them. Botero was influenced by the Baraque style of the colonial churches in his hometown while growing up. Botero's first work were sold by a man who traded tickets and bullfights. When Botero was 16 years old, he had his first illustration published in one of the most important newspapers in Medellín. 3 years later, he moved to Bogotá in 1951. After 5 years, he had his first one-man show. Botero won the first prize at the Salón de Artistas Colombianos in 1958. Then he received the second prize in Bogotá's Salón Nacional de Artistas. According to Condesa Gallery, at the age of 20, Botero booked his passage on a boat to Europe, traveling with a group of fellow artists. During a year in Madrid, he spent his days copying the Padrón's old masters. According to Condesa Gallery, Botero studied art in Paris, then moved to Florence. He was influenced by the techniques of the Italian masters. For the artists who had previously only encountered European art through reproduction, these were defining moments for Botero's career. Even though Botero attended art schools for a while during his early years, he viewed himself to be mostly a self-taught artist. In 1956, Botero got married and moved to Mexico. There he found his style influenced by Diego Rivera's mural painting. Botero's unique artistic style is known as Boterismo. In Mexico, Botero painted a mandolin with an unusual tiny sound hole, allowing the instrument suddenly to take on exaggerated proportions. In 1960, Botero moved to New York. He was awarded the Guhaman National Prize for Colombia. Years later, Botero moved to Paris, then Tuscany, where his style and technique continued to expand and evolve. According to the editors of Encyclopedia Britannica, in 1973, Botero began creating sculptures in addition to his work on canvas. He had several successful outdoor exhibitions of his monumental bronze figures. These figures included Roman soldiers, 1985, Maternity, 1989, and The Left Hand, 1992. According to Christie's, between 1990 and the 200s. Botero donated more than 300 works. The Museo Botero in Bogota received 123 pieces of his work and 85 pieces from his collection. His collection included works by Chagall, Picasso, Robert Rauschenberg, and the French Impressionists. Beginning of 2004, Botero donated a series of 23 oil paintings and 27 drawings to the National Museum of Colombia. These drawings depicted different elements of the country's long-lasting violence. He began a series of colorful works featuring circus performers. This series was first exhibited in 2008. Botero is now 89 years old, married, has 4 kids, and continues his successful career as a renowned artist. Since his father's death, Fernando was able to discover his true passion for art and has continued to evolve and expand his career over the years. Today I discussed Fernando Botero's early life and background information, including education as well as the aspects of his artistic career. To conclude, the history of art in Latin America has been shaped by great artists who use their creativity to touch sensible topics like political and social issues. Fernando Botero uses his signature style and created a technique known as boterismo, and it depicts large and curvy women. Botero uses vibrant colors to recall the folk arts of his culture. Today, he is considered one of the greatest painters and sculptors of Latin America. He has proven to us that you can accomplish great things when you put your mind to it. This has been my speech on Fernando Botero. Thank you.